China just unveiled a construction so futuristic it looks like it slipped out of the year 2100. Engineers around the world were stunned, especially in the United States. This structure bends physics, crushes energy limits, and proves China's rise isn't slowing down, it's accelerating. And the impact this mega project will have on global power? Absolutely devastating. Join us and let's begin. Number 11. Yusan Future City. Something wild is happening in Kunshan that's making traditional cities look like ancient relics. Yusan Future City isn't just another urban development with fancy buildings and wide streets. This thing actually thinks. Picture a massive 160-hectare expanse where roads talk to cars, streetlights wake up when they sense you walking by, and buildings are wrapped in vertical gardens that clean the air non-stop. The whole place runs on an urban artificial intelligence brain that controls climate, energy, traffic, and waste in real time. This AI watches how people live and tweaks everything to keep the city balanced. Roads analyze traffic patterns and adjust signal timing before congestion even starts. Buildings monitor their own temperature and shift energy consumption based on how many people are inside. The green walls covering the structures pull carbon dioxide from the air while releasing oxygen, turning the entire city into one giant lung. Walk through Yusan and you'll notice sensors embedded everywhere. They track air quality, measure noise levels, monitor water usage, and predict maintenance needs before anything breaks down. The system learns from millions of data points every single day. It knows when rush hour hits, when energy demand spikes, when the weather shifts. Then it adapts. The gardens aren't decorative either. They're functional ecosystems designed to regulate temperature naturally. During summer, the plants provide shade and cool the buildings through evapotranspiration. In winter, they act as insulation barriers. Every species was selected for its air-purifying properties and ability to thrive in vertical environments. China built this city to prove a point. Urban spaces don't have to choke on pollution and waste fighting nature. They can work with natural systems instead. Yusan represents what happens when technology stops being a tool bolted onto old infrastructure and becomes the foundation itself. The place feels alive because it genuinely is. It breathes through its gardens, thinks through its AI, and evolves through constant data feedback. This isn't science fiction anymore. It's a functioning reality that makes conventional cities look completely outdated. Number 10. Tienfu International Airport. Chengdu, Sichuan Province houses an aviation facility that redefines what airports can be. Tienfu International Airport sprawls across 700,000 square meters with 6 operational runways capable of handling 100 million passengers annually. But raw capacity doesn't make it remarkable. The design does. From above, the terminal complex resembles a golden phoenix spreading its wings, a symbol loaded with meaning in Chinese culture, representing rebirth and forward momentum. Inside, artificial intelligence systems manage flights, security, and baggage in real time with minimal human intervention. These aren't simple automation scripts. They're adaptive learning systems that predict delays before they happen, reroute luggage around bottlenecks, and coordinate security screening to eliminate unnecessary waiting. The AI monitors passenger flow through thermal cameras and pressure sensors embedded in the floors, adjusting gate assignments and staffing levels to prevent congestion. Massive skylights flood the interior with natural light, drastically reducing the need for artificial lighting during daytime hours. The terminal design maximizes natural illumination, while solar panels covering the roof convert excess sunlight into electricity that powers operations. An intelligent ventilation system circulates air efficiently without the energy waste typical of traditional HVAC systems. Walking through Tienfu feels different from other airports. The spaces are wide, acoustically dampened, and bathed in that warm golden glow that echoes the Phoenix design. Everything moves smoothly because the AI coordinates every element like a conductor leading an orchestra. Passengers rarely encounter bottlenecks or confusion because the system anticipates problems before they materialize. China didn't just build another airport here. They created a statement about where aviation infrastructure is heading. Tienfu proves airports don't have to be chaotic, energy-hungry monstrosities. They can be efficient, beautiful, technologically advanced spaces that enhance rather than drain their surroundings. I'm going to ask you a simple question. Are you a naturally curious person? If you're watching, I'm pretty sure the answer is yes. This space is made for people like us. To ensure you're always part of this community and receive all our latest discoveries, you just need to do one thing: subscribe to the channel. It's the best way to stay connected with us. Okay, now that you're part of our Legion of the Curious, let's move on to the next item. Number 9. Rui Bridge, the glass ribbon in the sky. Suspended 140 meters above a canyon in Zhejiang province, Rui Bridge has become one of modern engineering's most recognizable symbols. From distance, it appears as a twisted ribbon of steel and glass floating impossibly in the air. The design consists of 3 superimposed glass walkways that curve elegantly, symbolizing balance and harmony central to Chinese culture. Despite looking fragile, the bridge is constructed from aerospace-grade steel and high-resistance tempered glass. Each curve was calculated using algorithms that analyze tension, weight, and real-time movement. Engineers ran thousands of simulations testing how the structure would respond to wind loads, temperature changes, seismic activity, and the weight of hundreds of people crossing simultaneously. Walking across Rui Bridge delivers a sensory experience unlike anything else. Below your feet stretches empty space, dropping 140 meters to the canyon floor. Above you spreads open sky. Around you extends a panoramic view that seems limitless in every direction. The transparent floor creates the illusion of walking on air, with nothing but glass between you and the void. Construction required precision that pushed engineering limits. Workers installed the structure section by section, each piece having to align perfectly with the next while suspended high above the ground. Wind patterns in the canyon created additional complications, with gusts strong enough to swing sections during installation. Engineers had to time construction activities around weather windows when wind speeds dropped to manageable levels. The bridge serves multiple purposes beyond tourism. It's a testing ground for materials and construction techniques that could be applied to future projects. The aerospace-grade steel used here is lighter and stronger than conventional structural steel, allowing for designs that weren't possible with older materials. The glass walkways use layers of laminated panels that maintain structural integrity even if individual layers crack. Rui Bridge isn't just an architectural achievement, it's a demonstration of what becomes possible when art, engineering, and human courage converge at a single point in space. It shows the world that China isn't just building infrastructure, they're creating experiences that challenge our understanding of what structures can be and where they can exist. Number 8. The Beijing National Stadium. Beijing's National Stadium, universally called the Bird's Nest, redefined what Olympic venues could be. This structure looks exactly like its nickname suggests, a massive nest woven from steel beams that crisscross in seemingly random patterns that actually follow precise mathematical calculations. Built for the 2008 Olympics, the stadium seats 80,000 people and cost $428 million. The exterior steel lattice consists of 42,000 tons of metal twisted and welded into 24 kilometers of unwrapped length. No two sections are identical. Each beam follows a unique angle and curve, creating the organic appearance that makes the building instantly recognizable. The design started as a collaboration between Chinese and Swiss architects who wanted to avoid the conventional bowl-shaped stadium everyone expected. They created something that looked like it grew naturally rather than being constructed. The steel web serves structural and aesthetic purposes simultaneously, supporting the roof while eliminating the need for interior columns that would block sightlines.
Inside, the seating bowl floats independently from the exterior structure. This design isolates crowd movements and noise from the outer shell, preventing vibrations from affecting structural integrity. The separation also allows the interior to be climate-controlled without heating or cooling the entire volume of space within the steel web. Post-Olympics, many venues become expensive white elephants that cities struggle to maintain. The Bird's Nest avoided this fate by transforming into a multi-purpose venue hosting concerts, sporting events, and winter activities. During winter, they flood part of the interior and create a massive ice skating rink, turning a summer stadium into a winter attraction. The Bird's Nest proved iconic architecture can be functional long-term, rather than just spectacular for a single event. Its success influenced how countries approach Olympic construction, shifting focus towards structures with clear post-games purposes instead of single-use monuments that become financial burdens.
Number 7. Pearl River Tower. Guangzhou's Pearl River Tower stands 309 meters tall and generates its own electricity. This isn't greenwashing or token sustainability gestures. The building was engineered from the ground up to work with natural forces, rather than fighting them constantly. 2 massive wind turbines are integrated directly into the facade, positioned to capture air currents flowing past the building and convert them into electrical power. These aren't small supplemental generators, they're industrial-scale turbines that produce significant portions of the building's energy needs. Solar panels cover available surfaces, capturing sunlight throughout the day and feeding power into the building's grid. A radiant cooling system uses water circulation to regulate interior temperatures without the energy waste of traditional air conditioning. Double facade construction creates an insulating air gap that reduces heat transfer and maintains comfortable interior temperatures naturally. Nothing about this building's shape happened by accident. Every curve, window placement, and angle was calculated to minimize wind resistance while maximizing natural light penetration. The structure's orientation follows the sun's path to keep interiors illuminated and comfortable throughout the day without excessive artificial lighting or climate control. Even the window placement serves multiple functions. They're positioned to optimize cross-ventilation while providing views and natural light. The glass itself has special coatings that reject heat while allowing visible light to pass through, reducing cooling loads during hot months. Pearl River Tower proves architecture can flip the energy equation. Buildings don't have to be passive consumers that drain power from external grids. They can be active participants in energy generation, producing significant portions of what they need to operate. This represents a fundamental shift in how we think about urban construction. Structures that breathe with their environment, harvest energy from natural sources, and minimize waste aren't futuristic concepts anymore. They're standing right there in Guangzhou, operating successfully every single day. Number 6. 1,000 Trees, the mountain that grows. Shanghai has a building that looks like it escaped from a fantasy novel. Called 1,000 Trees, this complex blurs the line between architecture and nature so completely that traditional categories stop making sense. British architect Thomas Heatherwick designed columns that function simultaneously as structural support and massive planters. From these columns grow over 1,000 actual trees that wrap the building and make it look like a green mountain suspended above the urban landscape. Inside, shops, offices, and art galleries are connected by terraces and walkways covered in vegetation. During daytime, sunlight filters through the canopy and fills the corridors with natural brightness. At night, strategic lighting transforms the complex into a glowing forest floating above the city. The trees aren't decorative additions bolted onto a conventional building. They're integrated into the structural design from the foundation up. Each column was engineered to support not just building loads, but also soil weight, root systems, and the trees themselves as they grow over decades. Irrigation systems are embedded throughout, delivering water and nutrients to keep the vegetation healthy. Walking through 1,000 trees feels like moving between two worlds. You're clearly in a modern commercial complex with shops and galleries, but you're also surrounded by living forest.
The temperature drops noticeably compared to surrounding streets because the plants provide natural cooling through shade and transpiration. Air quality improves measurably inside the complex as the trees filter pollutants and produce oxygen. This project tackles a fundamental urban problem. Cities generate heat islands where temperatures rise significantly above surrounding areas because concrete and asphalt absorb and radiate heat. Traditional buildings contribute to this problem by replacing vegetation with heat-absorbing materials. 1,000 trees reverses this equation by maintaining green space vertically instead of sacrificing it to construction. The architectural statement here is clear. Future cities don't have to choose between nature and development. They can integrate both so thoroughly that the distinction becomes meaningless. 1,000 trees shows what happens when designers stop treating vegetation as something separate from buildings and start incorporating it as a fundamental structural element.
Number 5. Danyang Kunshan Grand Bridge. Stretching 164 kilometers between Beijing and Shanghai, the Danyang Kunshan Grand Bridge holds the world record as the longest bridge ever constructed. This isn't just a transportation link, it's the backbone of China's high-speed rail network and a monument to what engineering ambition can achieve when constraints are ignored. Building it took 4 years, 10,000 workers, and enough steel to construct 400 Eiffel Towers. The result is a structure capable of withstanding earthquakes, extreme winds, and dramatic temperature fluctuations without losing stability. Engineers designed every section to handle the stresses of high-speed trains traveling over 300 kilometers per hour, while carrying hundreds of passengers. Trains crossing this bridge feel like they're flying just above the ground, gliding smoothly over lakes, fields, and rivers without slowing down. The precision required to build something this long is staggering. Each segment had to align perfectly with the next to maintain the millimeter-level accuracy needed for high-speed rail. Any deviation would create vibrations that could derail trains or damage the structure over time. The foundation work alone involved driving thousands of support columns deep into varied terrain, from solid rock to soft riverbed soil. Environmental factors complicated everything. The bridge crosses multiple climate zones with different wind patterns, rainfall levels, and temperature ranges. Engineers had to account for thermal expansion and contraction across the entire span, installing expansion joints that allow the structure to flex without cracking. The Danyang Kunshan Grand Bridge doesn't just connect two cities. It represents China's commitment to unifying its population through infrastructure that refuses to acknowledge distance as a limitation. When trains cross this bridge at full speed, passengers barely notice they're on one of humanity's greatest engineering achievements. That seamlessness is the whole point. Number 4. Chengdu's Tienfu Software Park. Chengdu built a tech campus that looks nothing like Silicon Valley's sterile corporate boxes. Tienfu Software Park sprawls across 130 hectares with buildings that curve and twist like they're melting into the landscape. Water features snake between structures. Gardens cover every available surface. Walking paths connect buildings through vegetation instead of asphalt. This campus houses 80,000 tech workers daily. These aren't casual tourists. They're programmers, engineers, and designers spending 40-plus hours weekly inside this space. Traditional tech campuses trap people in air-conditioned buildings under artificial light. Tienfu pushes them outside constantly. Every building has multiple outdoor terraces and garden areas. Meeting rooms open to courtyards filled with plants and water features. The design forces human interaction with natural elements throughout the workday. Productivity studies showed workers in this environment produce higher quality code with fewer errors compared to conventional office settings. The combination of natural light, vegetation, and varied workspaces reduces mental fatigue and maintains focus longer. Mental health metrics improved measurably. Depression and anxiety rates dropped among workers who transferred to Tienfu from traditional offices. The campus includes residential areas where workers can live within walking distance of their offices. Retail spaces, restaurants, and entertainment venues are integrated throughout. The goal was creating a complete ecosystem where people work, live, and socialize without needing to leave.
Tienfu proves tech campuses don't have to look like Apple's spaceship or Google's colorful playgrounds. They can integrate with natural landscapes while maintaining functionality. The park demonstrates that human productivity improves when work environments respect our biological need for nature exposure rather than fighting it with artificial substitutes. Number 3. Shanghai Tower. Shanghai skyline has a new ruler, and it's twisting its way to the clouds. At 632 meters tall, Shanghai Tower dominates everything around it, with a spiraling design that looks like it's been pulled upward by invisible hands. This isn't just China's tallest building or the world's second tallest structure. It's a masterclass in intelligent architecture that turns natural forces into advantages. The spiral shape cuts wind pressure by 24%, which matters tremendously when typhoons slam the eastern coast with devastating force. Traditional rectangular towers fight the wind head-on, creating massive stress on their structures. Shanghai Tower lets the wind flow around its curved surface instead, reducing the battering force that could destabilize the building. That double-skin glass facade acts as natural insulation, trapping air between layers and maintaining stable interior temperatures without burning excessive energy. Inside, the tower stacks offices, hotels, gardens, and observation decks across different levels connected by elevators that shoot upward at 20.5 meters per second. These aren't ordinary elevators either. They're pressure-controlled cabins that prevent ear-popping discomfort as you rocket through 120 floors in under a minute. Each zone in the building has its own microclimate system that adjusts humidity, temperature, and air circulation based on occupancy and external conditions. The gardens scattered throughout different levels aren't decorative touches. They're oxygen generators and psychological relief spaces designed to combat the mental strain of working in a vertical city. People need exposure to greenery and natural light to maintain productivity and mental health. Shanghai Tower integrates these elements directly into its structure rather than treating them as afterthoughts. The sustainability features go deeper than most people realize. Rainwater collection systems capture and filter precipitation for use in toilets and irrigation. Wind turbines mounted near the top generate supplemental power from the same gusts the spiral design deflects. Solar panels embedded in the facade convert sunlight into electricity throughout the day. From ground level, Shanghai Tower looks like it's stretching infinitely upward, its twisting form creating the illusion of perpetual motion. It's architecture that doesn't just occupy space, but transforms it entirely. Number 2. Suzhou Zhongnan Center, the Twisted Sister. Suzhou skyline has a building that looks like two towers grabbed each other and started spiraling upward together. Zhongnan Center rises 729 meters, making it one of the tallest structures in China and the world's 5th tallest building overall. But height isn't the interesting part. The twisted design is what breaks architectural conventions. Two towers share a common foundation but twist around each other as they rise. This isn't decorative. The spiral shape reduces wind load by up to 24%, the same principle Shanghai Tower uses but applied to dual towers instead of a single structure. Wind hits the curved surfaces and flows around them instead of slamming directly into flat facades. The towers connect at multiple points throughout their height, with sky bridges that serve as structural reinforcement in public spaces. These bridges aren't decorative walkways. They're engineered to transfer loads between towers, distributing stress and increasing overall stability. Inside, the twisting design creates floor plates that rotate slightly at each level. This means offices have different shapes and orientations depending on which floor you're on. Windows face different directions, creating varied views and natural light patterns throughout the day. Elevators presented unique challenges. Traditional elevator shafts run straight up and down. Zhongnan Center shafts had to follow the twist, requiring custom engineering and cable systems that could handle angular loads conventional elevators never experience. Construction took 8 years and required 700,000 cubic meters of concrete. The foundation extends 80 meters underground to anchor the massive structure and prevent any possibility of tilting or settling. Earthquake resistance was critical, since Suzhou sits in a seismically active region. Engineers designed the twisted towers to flex during earthquakes, absorbing and dissipating energy rather than resisting rigidly. The towers can sway several meters at the top during extreme seismic events without structural damage. Zhongnan Center represents architecture that treats height as insufficient. Modern skyscrapers need iconic designs that make them recognizable from miles away, while solving engineering challenges that come with extreme vertical construction.
Number 1. The Ring Shopping Park, where technology meets nature. Chongqing houses an architectural experience that transforms what shopping centers can be. The Ring Shopping Park isn't just retail space with stores and restaurants. It's a carefully crafted fusion of nature, technology, and art that eliminates traditional boundaries between these elements. At the complex's center rises a luminous ring structure 42 meters tall, covered in glass panels and LED lights. During daytime, it reflects natural light like a suspended halo above the building. When night falls, the ring illuminates and becomes visible across the entire city, a glowing beacon that draws people from miles away. Interior vegetation isn't decorative, it's fundamental to the design. Trees grow throughout the space, cascades flow down multiple levels, living gardens fill vertical walls, and interior pathways wind through different floors. Visitors walk past interactive fountains, digital rain displays, and walls that pulse with light and color in response to movement and sound. The shopping experience here transcends traditional retail. You're not just walking through stores, you're moving through an environment that engages multiple senses simultaneously. The sound of water flowing mixes with digital audio landscapes. Natural plant scents blend with carefully controlled climate systems. Visual elements shift constantly as lighting responds to crowd density and time of day. Technology integration goes beyond flashy displays. Smart systems monitor air quality, regulate temperature, manage crowd flow, and adjust lighting to maintain optimal conditions throughout the day. Sensors track how people move through the space and feed data to systems that optimize everything from escalator speeds to restroom availability. The Ring Shopping Park proves commercial spaces don't have to be sterile boxes filled with stores. They can be destinations where technology enhances rather than replaces natural elements, creating environments that feel alive and responsive. This complex demonstrates what happens when designers stop treating shopping as purely transactional and start creating holistic experiences that engage people on multiple levels simultaneously.
Still curious? Then don't stop now. The next mystery is already waiting for you. Just click the video on screen. I saved it just for you. See you there, curious one.